Everybody, let's say hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, plant.
Hi everyone, and welcome to our 4th live sale. So this is our Growers Direct Flash sale, and we've done it for the last couple of weeks now. And with every time we just get bigger and better, really, with more exciting deals, better plans, more exciting things happening. And so what we've done for today's live sale is we split it into 3 categories. So first category is carpets, lawns, and cascades. Second category is hedges and screens. And third category is standards and topiary. And we have a lot of plants in each category. You could literally create your entire garden just from this sale. You could shop here and build an entire very, very beautiful garden for quite cheap. So that's why we decided on all these different categories. But what really started actually, our idea for these categories was flat things. Now, I've been creating content here for quite a while. Chris and I have been going out on a lot of content shoots. We've been filming a lot of different plants. We've been putting so many different videos out there for quite some time now. But what's really funny and something that we've noticed is that people just love flat things. We don't know exactly why, Chris, but I think they just something about it that they adore flat things.
Every time we do a video with something flat and beautiful, the video goes wild, sometimes up to 1.5 million views.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's everything from like native violet to lime lava to Dymondia, Dichondra, anything that's flat and good looking just goes crazy on our socials. So of course these are the plants that everybody wants, which is why we put it in our sale. Now, how today is going to work is we are going to go through each plant that is part of this sale. We're going to tell you about the plant, the applications, its strengths, maybe what kind of garden styles it suits, anything that you need to know. Maybe it's particularly good for soil types, or it's wind hardy or drought tolerant. Anything that is really good to know about the plant, just so you are making an informed decision when you are purchasing. So we're going to be doing that, and we'll be telling you what its original price is and then what the special price is, so you can see how much you're saving. Now, how to get these deals is just scan the QR code, which you see on the TV screen just behind Chris, or you can just go, right there. Or you can just go to our website if maybe you're having difficulties trying to connect, or maybe you're on your phone right now and you can't scan the QR code, obviously. All you need to do is just go to Hello Hello Plants, go to Chris's blog, and then it will be the first article there about the Growers Direct Flash sale. It will be the most recent one, and then you can just peruse at your own pleasure. You can listen on, hear about all the different plants, all you need to know, and then make your purchase whenever you feel like it. These deals are going to be up post live and probably until next Friday, next Saturday.
Yeah, next Friday, 12 o'clock, we're going to have our next big Grower Direct sale, and we're going to have 3 really exciting categories, and there'll be different plants. So you want to see the deals from this week. You want to grab them this week, because next week there'll be a whole different set of specials.
Exactly. So for anyone who's just come in right now, I'm just doing some housekeeping, telling you about the sale. I'm going to be reminding throughout the live where you can go to get these deals. And yeah, so it's really, really exciting. We've got amazing, incredible deals if you're doing a garden on a budget, if you are starting a new project or just want to fix it up, spruce it up a little bit. This is really the sale for you. So all you need to do if you have any questions is just comment it below. I am going to be keeping an eye on the comments, and anything that is related to the plants, if there's anything you're curious about, maybe how big it grows, or if it suits X area or this or that, anything and all that you want to know, just comment it. I'm going to ask it to Chris when I get the chance, but that's enough for me. Let's get into these plants. Very, very exciting. We're starting hot with the Dymondia Silver Carpet.
Okay, now this is a really interesting plant. What happened is my partner and I bought a place in Shepparton, and some of this was growing in a roundabout in the middle, together with some of the rubbishy bits and pieces. I cleared it all out, and I put a beautiful crepe myrtle in the middle, and I've done a large lawn of Dymondia, and I'm amazed how hardy it is. Our dog thinks it's the best place to use as a bathroom, and it doesn't hurt it at all. Occasionally I've had to put the odd tractor wheel on it because it's right in the roundabout, and I've driven on it, and it doesn't, it's really, so it's really tough. It takes the heat, it takes the dry, it takes the frost, and it's lovely. It's really, really flat. See how flat that is there? So really, really flat. And so if you've got a really tough spot, a hot sunny spot, a frosty spot, a really difficult spot, yeah, and even a bit of shade, Dymondia seems to take anything. It grows quickly. Fabulous ground cover. Now these are normally $4.99, but now while the Grow Direct Flash Sale, $2.99. At $2.99, and I found them a very quick and tough one. They're one that I really love.
Amazing. Yes, you don't have to worry about, not stepping on it. It's a tough, hardy ground cover.
Yeah. So this one here is Creeping Jenny, and they've been $14.99. And Creeping Jenny really does creep. These have sort of crept together and stuck to each other. So Creeping Jenny roots as it goes along, and it's a beautiful soft golden colour. Now this will grow good in the shade. It'll cascade over a wall. You can use it as a ground cover, and it's great to use as a contrasting plant. So if you've got silver plants or red plants and you want a lovely contrast, your Creeping Jenny, and this is the one that we sell is the golden Creeping Jenny, and this week we're giving them away for $6.99, so you can afford to do a whole big flat area of beautiful gold.
Incredible. Now, Janelle has a question. I don't know if this isn't regarding the Dymondia Silver Carpet or the Creeping Jenny, so maybe just answer for both of them unless they can comment quickly enough. How far will one plant spread?
Well, I'd say a Dymondia is so aggressive that it could cover an entire planet, but it depends how much. It depends how much time. Depends how much time you're willing to wait. When I plant them, I plant 16 plants per square metre, so 4 by 4. And you'll get cover in no time, particularly in the warm weather.
Amazing. And what about Creeping Jenny? How far will that one spread?
Creeping Jenny, that's a much more spreading one. I reckon 4 or 6 to the square metre, and you'll cover it in no time.
Beautiful. All right, let's move on to this No Mow Grass, which sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, No Mow is an area. It's a beautiful, tough little plant, and it loves warmth, it loves water, and it loves a bit of fertilizer, and it'll make the beautiful carpet. And the lovely thing about your No Mow is where your mowing lawn is all flat. This is kind of mowing and short, but it's all moundy and lovely and soft. It's a beautiful thing to lay on a lovely lawn of No Mow. Now, nice and hardy. So this will take walking. It'll take the dogs. It'll take whatever. Although if you're having a lot of traffic through an area, I'd put some stepping stones through it and walk around it again. And this is something that looks really good around your stepping stones. Now, No Mow has been a bit pricey, $8.99 for these beautiful 4-inch pots, down to $5.99. So $5.99. So this, if you've been thinking about going for a bit of No Mow around your paving, or a nice little No Mow lawn that you can lie on in the sun, and they are very, very sun hardy too, only $5.99. And I think I'd plant probably a dozen of these to the metre to get good cover fairly quickly.
Beautiful. And how do we ship Australia wide?
We do free delivery. When you spend over $300, you got free delivery from Tarralgon right across to Geelong and Bendigo, Ballarat and Shepparton. So you got a big area of free delivery when you spend over $300. Then by quoting or postage, we do send, and a lot of this small stuff you could send all over Australia. We do send over most of Australia. We do not send to Western Australia or Tasmania. It's actually easier to send stuff to Germany than it is to Tasmania or Western Australia. So they're anyway. So here we have the blue Pratia. Now, blue Pratia has the beautiful soft blue flower. This is a lovely one to put around the paving. Lovely one to put around the lawn. Great. I often use in my garden designs just as a beautiful low border on the edge of a nice cottage garden. So it's sort of a soft, romantic, lovely green sort of cover with little blue flowers. So that's your blue Pratia.
Beautiful. And just a reminder to anyone who's come in, these deals are only going to be available until Friday. So you want to get in quick to get these. Also, we have limited stock. And the way to get these deals is just go to our website, Chris's blog, and the first article, which will be titled something about Growers Direct Flash Sale, then you can browse there and get all your incredible sales there, or come into the nursery and shop here in store. Tell us about the White Star Creeper now.
Actually, Well, I'll just tell you about the Growers Direct Sale. What's happened is that since I've had the idea of doing the Growers Direct Sale, different growers are ringing me up, and I'm going out. I'm spending 1 or 2 days a week, long days, up early in the morning, out in the fields by 7 o'clock, and often out there till 6 or 7 o'clock at night, and looking at plants and picking up these fabulous deals, and then bringing them direct to the customers. The growers love it, and the customers love it, and I love it because I get to go out and hang out with guys that I've been dealing with for 40 years and stuff like that. It's a great thing. And now what we have here is the white Pratia. So now you're getting these direct from the grower. White Pratia, lovely soft mossy green, beautiful little starry white flowers. Plant a lawn, put it around your paving, plant a small area. I did a garden design this morning, and I used some of this, and then I used Ajuga around the edges just to sort of kind of define the area. It's like as a border around the area. And Ajuga is a beautiful leafy thing that goes, and you can get it in purples and that, but goes beautifully with that there. So these Pratias here, they've been reduced from $4.99, which is pretty cheap, down to $2.99. So they're very cheap to cover a large area.
You could literally get that for less than your morning coffee. You could get like 3 of them for the price of a coffee, which is crazy. We just got a question here asking if we do click and collect.
We do.
Do we do click and collect?
Yes, we do.
Amazing.
Yeah,
So you're more than welcome to click and collect all these sale prices. So you don't even need to worry about coming here and trying to browse and get all the plants yourself. Just do that. We'll get all those together. And you can just easily come, grab them, and load them into your cart. Off you go. All right. Tell me about Baby's Tears.
Now, Baby's Tears hates the sun. So if you like Baby's Tears, you've got to plant it in the shade. And if you plant it in the shade, give it plenty of water, a little bit of fertilizer. It grows like crazy. This, I would say, if you were planting these right now, these Baby's Tears here, you'd have a beautiful sheet of green. Like, let's have a look. We've got it up there. You'd have a beautiful sheet of green, say the size of a dinner plate by winter. So very, very fast. Grows like crazy in the warm weather. Loves a bit of water, loves a bit of fertilizer, and loves the shade and hates the sun. So Baby's Tears. So if you've got a shady spot and you haven't known how to cover the ground there, Baby's Tears will give you a beautiful lawn. And if you want to walk through that area, walk on your steppers and have the Baby's Tears all around. But what's great about it, also, a friend of mine's planted around his fountain, and it's taking an enormous amount of water. So if you've got a splashing fountain in the shade, and you want something that'll take a lot of water, your Baby's Tears will take almost infinite amount of water, and grow like crazy in the shade. So water and fertilizer and shade are the essentials. Baby's Tears, really, really good, and they have been $4.99. They're now $2.99, so you can cover a large area very, very quickly. And I think half a dozen to the metre will get it covered pretty quickly.
Beautiful. And Samantha, we are located in Campbellfield, Victoria, Australia. And we do shipping, just like Chris mentioned before, to Ralgan, to Bendigo, I believe, when you spend over $300.
Yeah, over $300.
Yes, we offer free shipping then.
Yeah.
And we do also offer like a delivery service to outside of Victoria, but that is obviously conditional on the amount of plants and where exactly.
Yeah, that's right. So in the main inhabited parts of Victoria, fabulous free delivery when you spend over $300.
Beautiful. Now, tell me about Dichondra Silver Falls.
Okay, this would be one of the most popular plants in our nursery. I remember I bought quite a few thousand little baby ones of these in spring, and my partner went berserk because she said you'd never sell them, and we've actually had trouble keeping up the supply of them. Now, this is a lovely big one. This is an 8-inch pot, but what we've got on special is the 6-inch pot, and these 6-inch pots, lovely, healthy little plants, and almost any nursery you'd go to, you'd find yourself paying $16 or something like that, and these ones here were $14.99, and for the sale they're down to $10.99. So $10.99. Now these will cover a big area and they have lots of uses. You can put them in a hanging basket. I did a garden design this morning, and we're going to use a great big black pot on a deck, and we've got these cascading over the side of a black pot. They'll look absolutely fabulous. I've also used them today in garden designs where I've planted we'll do them later, the foxtail fern, and I love these underneath the foxtail fern because they really show off the fluffy green of the foxtail fern. So, and often when I'm doing the round English box balls in a garden design, I'll put these around to really set the green ball off. So lots and lots of applications. Use them as a carpet, use them as a cascade, use them to come over a stone wall. There's a wonderful video of these on our website where a chap's done a beautiful stepping stone path, and he's got them down either side of the path. Really, really lovely. So Silver Falls, normally $14.99, now $10.99.
And the fact that these already sell out so quickly when they're full price, I mean, with this sale, it's going to be pretty much gone, like almost instantly. So you definitely want to get in quick if you are eyeing that off and you are liking the sound of it.
Okay, now Dichondra repens. Dichondra repens, most popular product in our store. People plant whole lawns of it, or they do little patches, borders, and it's a fast, easy to grow plant. And we've got these beautiful plants here, and they were $12.99. They're down to $2.99. So $2.99. You can cover a large area very, very economically. Put them around your stepping stones. Put them in the base of a, say you've got a big pot with a big tree in it, you can put these around the base. It's a beautiful green ground cover, and they do cascade a little bit, but only $2.99, down from $12.99.
Perfect. Also, Janelle, I just commented the link there below. Just let me know if you are able to access that link and if you can find the sale page.
Now this is a product I really, really like. Look at the colours here. It's beautiful. You've got a little bit of pink, a little bit of cream, sort of a bit of a grey green. And you can just see little sort of beautiful blue flowers coming. And what I like about these is I'll tell you what their common name is bugleweed. So they've got this common name called bugleweed. Now, why would I like something that's called a bugleweed? Well, when you get something as pretty as this, it grows like a weed, it's fantastic because you put it in your garden, and in not too long at all, these are, like I'd say, if you put these in within 3 months, they'll be the size of a dinner plate. And they do grow like a weed, but the thing is that they're a beautiful weed. So Ajuga Burgundy Glow, the very, very colourful and beautiful weed. And normally you find, you go down to your local nursery and they'll be $14.99. We've got them right now for $6.99. So $6.99, fabulous price for, this is sort of like what most nurseries would pay if they were out buying them by the 100 wholesale. $6.99 plus GST. So we're really, really cheap.
Wow, insane. Those are some incredible deals. And again, these are only going to last until Friday, guys. So if you want to get in on these incredible specials, get in quick. And let's move on to this beautiful dwarf Mondo grass.
Yeah, now the thing that a lot of people don't realise about dwarf Mondo to do well must be in the shade, which is a great thing because there's a lack of things that do great in the shade, and dwarf Mondo does fabulous in the shade. You can use it around your pavers, use it as a beautiful large flat area, lush and green, easy to grow, and that's sort of how it grows. But what we've got is we've got these 10 packs. You say you've got 10, because what you find if you're putting them around your pavers or covering a big area, you need lots of them. So nice little plants there in a 10 pack, and our 10 packs are normally $24.99. These are only $17.99. So $17.99 for a 10 pack of dwarf Mondo grass. So 10 plants for $17.99. That's $1.79 each. Great buying, and only for this week.
Now, here's a real popular plant that people absolutely love on our socials, and also, of course, in terms of our sales as well.
Yeah. Now, what we've got is we've got lime lava in 8-inch pots, normally $29.99, now $16.99. So if you want to make a beautiful green mound in your garden, these love the sun. They're one of the few flat plants that really wants to be out in the hot sun. So these love the hot sun. They love a bit of water, they love a bit of loose soil, a little bit of osmocote. And these will quickly fill out and become a beautiful round green mound in the garden. And they're only $16.99. Down from $24.99. Now, legend has it that on a hot summer's day, the leprechauns in Ireland go into the forest and they find a beautiful clump of green moss and lay down and go to sleep to get through the heat. But I actually don't believe that, because I don't reckon they have hot days in Ireland. And but here in Australia, we do really have hot days. Have not many leprechauns, but we have really hot days here in Australia. And on a hot day, this will grow into a beautiful lush green mound of beautiful moss, and it'll give off an aura of cool and calm and beauty. You can grow it in a pot, grow it in the garden as a feature, multi-plant them as a bit of a border. And these are your Irish moss, and they're normally quite expensive. They're normally $6.99, and they're down to $4.99. And a few of these would really change the look of your garden and give you that cool, green, beautiful look. So Irish moss, $4.99.
Amazing. And if you're curious about what any of these plants look like in situ, we do have some photos on the back there you can see on that screen. But we also post so many videos that you could actually just go to our YouTube channel, search up the plant name, and you can see what it looks like in someone's garden, not just in the pot like you see here. All right, this one here is Asiatic Jasmine.
Now I think that one of the best green carpets you can possibly have is your Asiatic Jasmine. Your Asiatic Jasmine quickly covers a large area. And what I say to people is that one of these will cover a square metre, which is great. It means it's very economical. And two will cover a square metre very, very quickly. They love a bit of water, love a bit of fertiliser, love a bit of weed control. That's what you need to grow them. But it forms a cover, a low spreading cover that maybe needs to, once it's established, you might trim it once a year. Very, very low maintenance. You can walk on it. Don't put heavy traffic on it, but you can certainly walk on it to service it and to service other plants in the garden. But makes a beautiful big area. And the incredible thing is some ground covers now don't last. They don't last for years and years and years. 20, 30, 40 years, whatever if you put it out, treat it properly, a bit of water, a bit of fertilizer, trim it once a year. This is a forever kind of a ground cover. White fragrant flowers around Christmas time. Beautiful green cover, very, very classy. But the main problem with these is normally if you go in your local nursery, they're 14, 15, 16 bucks each. And I've got these really big, and I'll separate one for you. I've got
Only
these
for
really
$6.99.
Yeah, and the thing is that these are as big as what a lot of people have in their $14.99 6-inch pot, and these are $6.99. So what I say is one plant per square metre, or one plant per square metre, or 2 plants per square metre if you're in a hurry. You can see these are really they're a 3-inch tube, but they're a really decent sized plant in a 3-inch tube. Really good, big, sturdy plants. As good or better as what you see in the bigger pots at $14 or $16.99. So now you can afford to do an Asiatic Jasmine lawn with plants at $6.99, 1 per square metre or 2 per square metre if you're in a hurry.
And it looks beautiful. We've got a video out on it. Someone just wants to know, how does it go in low light?
Fabulous.
Amazing.
And actually, I'll just say a little bit more. What happens is a situation that I come up with all the time is people might have a really big established tree in the front yard, and the lawn has died in the shade of the tree, and they want some sort of greenery underneath. And my go-to plant is the Asiatic Jasmine. What I love about the Asiatic Jasmine is that generally when you've got a big tree, one side of the big tree is hot and sunny underneath, westerly sun coming underneath, so hot and sunny, and the other side is as shady as anything. And it looks terrible if you put a shade lover on the shady side and a sun lover on the sunny side. You've got an awful looking design. But what I love about the Asiatic Jasmine, it will look the same. It will thrive in the hot sun and it will thrive in the shade. So it's great to use when you're doing a large expanse of one end sunny and one end shady. So very, very useful plant.
What a handy plant. I almost cannot believe this next deal, down from $39.99 to $12.99. That's better than half price. I can't do maths well, but that is a very, very good deal.
Luckily, our financial controller is overseas at the moment, and she doesn't know about this massive reduction.
Well, hopefully she doesn't. Whoop, you should get it in quick, guys, before she finds out.
Yeah. So what it is, this is probably my favorite ivy. It's got the most beautiful little starry sort of little leaf, fabulous leaf, and it's really green, really lush, and really, really beautiful. It's probably the prettiest of ivies. You could grow this up a wall, grow it as a ground cover. But there was a hotel over on Toorak Road in Toorak, and they haven't really kept it up. But a few years ago, they had big stars topiarized out of it. They were a beautiful shape of a star, flat top, lovely thick sides on it, Pittsburgh ivy, and that's where I saw it and really fell in love with it. But there's beautiful stars, so you can topiarize this. You can grow it into a ball. I saw them growing into these beautiful star shapes on the ground. So it's a plant that you can do heaps with. Just use it as ground cover and use it in a pot on your deck. Use it cascading out from underneath the standard maple or something like that. So very, very versatile and very, very pretty. I think we deserve a close-up on the leaves.
Yeah, just look at that. So that massive plant there, you're getting for $12.99, which is normally $39.99. That is insane.
Yeah. So have a look at the foliage. I think it's the prettiest ivy on the market.
So beautiful. All right, next is one of those plants we were talking about, a flat thing that you guys went crazy for on our socials. It is native violet.
Right, so native violet, I love native violet. There's a video on our thing where a chap did beautiful sandstone, big sandstone pavers and planted these all around, but they're green and lush, they grow like crazy. You can grow them in a pot, grow them in the shade, grow them, really, really wonderful plants. Very, very hardy. They'll take sun, they'll take shade, and they have these beautiful little tiny delicate violets all year round and beautiful lush green foliage. So native violet, and now normally your 8-inch native violet is $19.99. We've got lovely ones like that for $9.99. So you can fill up your garden with native violets really, really cheaply and quickly.
Amazing. And this does well in the shade, doesn't it? Which helps a lot of people.
Yeah,
who struggle.
deep shade, no sun at all, completely happy.
Wonderful. Here's another one that does very well. We've done quite a few videos on this Convolvulus Blue.
Yes, now I love this plant, and the reason why I love it is that I guess it's another one of those things. It's called bindweed is a common name for it. And what was interesting is in the last big drought, the government said you weren't allowed to water anymore, and lots of these I saw them sort of like McDonald's and Hungry Jack's and that stopped watering their gardens, and most of the plants died, and this stuff here took over, and it flourished right through the drought, and it starts flowering in the middle of September and flowers right through to the end of May, and at certain times of the year it'll have so many flowers on it you can't even see the foliage. So, and it'll fall beautifully, it'll cascade. So if you've got often when I'm doing garden design, somebody will have an ugly looking row or sleeper wall or something like that, and I'll plant these along the top, and in no time at all they fall down and covered over the wall of the embankment. Sometimes I put them in pots and have them cascading over the side of the pot. So it's a really, really useful plant, long flowering, tough as anything, and fast growing. So really, really good.
And like you can see in the back just there, it flowers heavily. Right now it's only has a couple flowers, but you saw before on the screen it was flowering so much. Now this is our last plant for our carpets, lawns and cascades category. We have 2 more categories coming up, hedges and screens, and then we also have standards and topiary. But just a reminder for anyone who's come in now, these deals are only available until next Friday. Also, Tina, just to answer your question, that Convolvulus Blue for a 6-inch pot is $6.99, down from $12.99. All right, let's move to Cousin It.
So here we have our Cousin It. And Cousin It, I reckon that this is the plant that I use most often in my garden designs. What I love about this, it grows in the sun, it grows in the shade, it'll grow flat on the ground, it'll cover a large area, because what a Cousin It is, it's actually your cousin is actually a tree. And it's a very cute little tree that doesn't grow up, it grows out and down. And so one of these will cover better than a square metre. I've seen them growing in the toughest of places, hottest, driest places you could imagine without any care. And what I love most about them is the texture. The texture is really, really great. And you've got this lovely matte green foliage. And what we've got here, normally when you buy them, just a couple little twigs in a little pot. But these ones here are beautiful big plants, ready to really dominate a landscape, and you'd normally expect to pay like $70 for these, and I don't know how we're doing it. I hope we're not losing too much money, but they're $30.99 for something that'll make a real statement. Plant them to cover more than 1 square metre, and they'll do it very, very quickly.
And I just want to say, normally it's $69.99. Like $70 down to $31 is insane. And you definitely want to get in on this deal. And how you do that is just by going to our website, go to Chris's blog, and then go to the Growers Direct Flash Sale 4.0. And there is all the deals in their categories. We even got a little write-up section talking about this. And you can grab all of those there, or of course come into the store and shop here, or click and collect.
When I was young, still at high school, my father went to New Zealand. He bought himself a quarantine house and set up a quarantine house so he could bring in plant life directly from other countries. And he went to New Zealand because they've got a very progressive industry there. And he bought back the first ever in Australia small leaf petrosums. No one ever bought them in. So he bought, and the one that he bought in was, what's the first one? Is silver sterling, or sterling silver, silver sterling, something like that. And James Sterling was the first one. It was a sort of a silver grey one with little tiny leaves, and it became one of the most popular hedges through the 70s and early 80s, and everybody had one. Eventually people got sick of them and they virtually stopped growing them. But then Dad went on, bought in all other varieties from New Zealand, and after he'd been growing them for 20 or 30 years, I asked him, which one is the best. And with having hundreds of thousands of them and knowing all the ins and outs of these, one of the main things he used to grow, he said that Silver Sheen is the best of the lot. And since then I've always made that the main Pittosporum that I sell. And Silver Sheen, I've found, gets very little disease, very little problems, grows like crazy. Ones like these, if you really looked after them, you could have them up my height in 1 year, big bushy ones in 1 year. What they like is a well-drained site. They like water, they like fertilizer. But my dad's recommendation, and then that's always been the main one I've grown, and the main one that I've sold is Silver Sheen. And I think even though there's 50 other Pittosporums on the market, I still think that Silver Sheen is the fastest and best, and it makes the most beautiful hedge. Like, we've done lots of videos on these, and normally a lot of stores you'd be paying $15-16 each. These ones here around about 50 centimeters tall, you'd be paying $50 or $60. And we've got these ones for $7.99. So $7.99, the price of a tube. You got a beautiful 6-inch pot that's maybe a little oversized, 50 centimeters tall, great deal. And a really good hedge. Plant them about 1 meter apart. Keep them well watered and fertilized. In no time at all, you're gonna have blocked out the neighbors. Now look at these. I'm 1.8 meters tall, and if you subtract the pot, these are 1.6 meters tall. Now these are weeping lily pillies, and generally if you walked into your local nursery and you asked them for a 1.6 meter weeping lily pilly, it'd be in a bigger pot than that, and it would probably be $80 or $90. So these ones here, the weeping lily pilly would be the hedge or screen that I would most often recommend to my customers. And the reason being is that there's a beetle decimating a lot of the lily pilly hedges in Melbourne, and the beetle leaves these alone. It doesn't like these ones at all. And also it's very, very fast growing, well watered and fertilized. They can grow much more than 1 meter a year. They love a trim. They've been around and popular in Melbourne for a long, long time, and they're very, very attractive. And also there's a lot of people that don't like the reds and the purples and things that you get on some of your lily pillies. And this one here, dark green on the old growth, beautiful light green on the new growth. And then the other thing is that this comes from far northern Queensland. And up in far northern Queensland, it's much, much hotter all year round than here. And as a consequence, this one down here seldom produces a berry, and if it does produce a berry, the berry is white. So we find we sell truckloads of these over in Toorak and Brighton and that, where people worry about the red berry falling and staining their paving. So for a berry that won't stain, almost never has a berry, for no red, no purple, no bugs attacking it, it's pretty good. And if these were $50 or $60, they'd be a good buy, but they're not. They're $19.99.
Insane.
So
and like similar to other plants, this sells out quickly when it's full price. So the fact that it's so cheap, only $19.99, means that it's going to be selling really quickly. So you definitely want to get in before it sells out.
Yeah. Now a lot of people are bored with Pittosporums. They're sick of lily pillies, and they're looking for something different. Now a lush, leafy, fast-growing, easy-to-grow thing is a Viburnum. And here we've got one of the new varieties on the market. It's a Coppertop Viburnum, and we've got these in down from $30 each, lovely bushy ones, down from $30 each to $19.99. So really, really good value. Plant them 90 centimeters to 1 meter apart, $19.99. Now you'll have these up my height in 12 months. They love to grow. Plenty of wheat, no grass or weeds around the bottom, water and fertilizer, and you have them my height in 12 months.
Amazing. And also, unfortunately, we do not have a store in Western Australia. And we are just in Victoria.
Now these are fabulous. If you want a kind of a hedge with a real difference, say you're that person, you're a little left of center, you're not kind of like that boring person who just wants square and neat and sterile and everything like that. Here's a sort of a really sexy, beautiful evergreen hedge that's fast growing and really, really tough. And it's particularly tough for frosty areas. So you might be out at Mount Macedon or something like that, and you've got a garden and you're looking for sort of something with a bit of character, something a bit special. This is it. This is a Japanese Protosum. It's called Awabuki. And some of the things I like about this, some people are not going to like, but the odd person's really going to love it. What this one does is fabulous white flowers in spring. And then at this time of year, beautiful clusters of red berries. And they're really, really attractive. And all through this dark green glossy foliage. Then as you go into autumn, it doesn't lose its leaves, but maybe every fifth leaf or something will colour. And so you have this time, it's probably June, you know, the garden is colourless and boring, and you look out there and here's this amazing evergreen bush, glossy foliage with the odd autumn coloured leaf through it and lovely clusters of sort of orangey red berries. You can't beat it. If you were doing some sort of classic, interesting, fascinating garden, Awabuki is the hedge for you.
Wow, that sounds stunning.
Yeah.
We have a couple people who want to know more about windbreaks and shade trees. Do we have anything like that on the live today?
Yes, we will, and I'll be giving you some really good ones. But just and this one here, 3.5, 4 meters, so it's a good size one, and they're down from $120 or $119.99 to $69.99. So $69.99. And fabulous. Like, look at the size and quality of these.
Fantastic. So just stick around. We're going to be going through every single plant part of this sale, and we will make sure to note when it's a good windbreak or shade tree. So yeah, let's keep going.
Okay, now we had a delivery delayed from northern New South Wales, and unfortunately we've got to show off one of our 12-inch pots. And our 12-inch pots, if you want them like this, we can do these for $79.99. But our big special this week is the 10-inch pot. 10-inch pots are coming in at 3 foot in height, nice and bushy like this from the same grower, and they're going to be $39.99. That's $10 less than normal. I'd plant these 90 centimetres apart, and in 12 months you'll have a 2.5 metre tall, beautiful, classy, green-looking hedge. And this one doesn't have the berries like the Awabuki. So a lot of people, there's people that love berries and people that hate berries. If you don't like berries or don't want berries, you go for this one here, the Sweet Viburnum. Very fast, big, bushy.
Amazing. Also, if there are any questions that are coming up that aren't related to the live sale that we're doing right now, I just unfortunately don't have the time to be asking them to Chris to answer them, but we do a live Q&A every Monday, 12 p.m. So if you're having any questions not related to the plants here on sale, come to Monday, our live 12 p.m. on the platform you are on right now, and that's where we can answer all of those questions. All right, let's keep going.
Okay, now what's interesting is that a 12-inch pot weeping lily pilly is normally $99.99. But the thing is that normally when they're 12-inch pots, they normally come in at about 3 foot in height. These ones are coming from one particular grower, and they've reached his capacity size in the pot, and he wants to clear them. And so what you're getting is you're getting extra size. This is the size you'd normally have to go to a $200 plant to get. Your hinterland gold's a small, compact growing one with lovely golden foliage. And generally to get something like these are about 1.5 metres tall. And to get them 1.5 metres tall, you'd have to allow $220. These ones here, we've only got a limited number of them, and they're $79.99. Fabulous value, like $79.99. And you can do a beautiful, compact, bushy, sort of limey gold kind of hedge. Plant them a metre apart, and they're $79.99, and they're 1.5 metres tall. They're less than half price what you normally pay for something like that.
Beautiful. Just before we go on to the next plant, can we just quickly get again, how high does the sweet viburnum grow again?
About 4 metres.
About 4 metres. Wonderful. All right, let's go on to fire screen lily pilly.
Okay, now what's happening in Melbourne? Lots of people are having problems with psyllids. Psyllids are like little bumps you get on the leaves, and then other people are having problems with this beetle that's come down from Queensland 2 or 3 years ago and gone right through Melbourne. And some people's hedges have been reduced to skeletons. Now, if you like lily pillies, and maybe you like that beautiful red tip that the lily pilly can get, but you don't want to have your hedge reduced to a skeleton by beetles, and you don't want to have all those little lumps on it, this is the hedge for you. Now, normally these are about $40 each, and we've got these for $19.99. And if you look at me, I'm 1.8. So these are coming in 1.5, 1.6 metres tall for $19.99. fantastic price. Plant them about 1 metre apart. Now, what's also interesting about your fire screen is your fire screen has been named that because it actually resists burning. So if you're in a sort of a hot sunny spot where you're going to get a fire in from the north, these can be planted as an actual fire screen. And if you then add water to them when the fire's approaching, you've got really good protection. But apart from that, you also find that this particular variety is quite frost hardy. So if you're in a bit of frost, a lot of lily pillies will be decimated by frost. These will stand up to quite a lot of frost, stand up to a little bit of bushfire, and resist all the bugs. So
frost and fire and bugs. That is a plant.
Yeah.
Someone wants you to give them the iconic hello, hello, Chris.
Hello, hello.
There you go. All right, onto now box leaf privet.
Okay, so box leaf privet, these ones are extra tall plants. They give you a really good start. Now, if you wanted to, say you wanted to grow a 1.5, 2 metre hedge that looked like English box and maybe it had poor soil and, you know, it's difficult conditions, these are a real property transformer. Plant 3 of them to the metre. These ones here are $5.99 and they'll make a beautiful hedge in no time. So $5.99, fabulous sort of hedge property transformer.
Incredible. And I just want to remind anyone new that's come in, the way to grab these amazing deals, which are only going to last until Friday, is you can either come into the store, we're in Campbellfield, Victoria, or you can call us up and do a order over the phone, or you can go online, go to Chris's blog, so go to our website, go to Chris's blog, and then onto the Direct Growers Flash Sale 4.0, and all the deals are there. Also, Kerry, the plant that we did just before this one was the box leaf privet in the 6-inch, down from $9.99 to $5.99. All right, now we are onto the Layton's green conifer, which we actually have a really exciting video coming up about. Soon.
Yeah, so that'll be coming up in the next week. And Layton's green conifer, these ones here are 1.5. So if you went in, I'm 1.8, so it gives you a height. Now, if you went into your local store and said, give me a 1.5 metre Layton's green, they might sell $60, $70. We've got these in 8-inch pots. They're 1.2 metres tall. We've got thousands of them to clear over the next week or two. And right now, this week, we're doing them for $9.99. So $9.99, beautiful big. Now, what you can do with the Layton's green is you can grow a beautiful, neat, trimmed hedge, fabulous. You can grow a tall, narrow screen. You can grow a windbreak on a farm and just let it grow natural. And the thing is that you could get this, if you planted this size here, in 2 years you could have a 3.5 metre green wall. Oh, actually, what's lovely, it's a sort of a blue-green wall, and they'll grow almost anywhere, except in a swampy hollow. You know, like so Layton's green, very tough, very versatile, and they're also, like when I did the video, I talked about how when a customer wants to block out dirt coming in from a dirt road, noise coming in from a railway line or a freeway, and they ask you what is the best thing to block out noise and dirt and create privacy quickly, a Layton's green cypress is hard to beat because it has dense, thick, heavy foliage when it grows, and it really does block out the dirt, block out the noise, and block out the neighbours and give you a bit of privacy, and it does it very, very quickly, 3 metres in 2 years.
And for $9.99, I mean, you can't put a price on privacy, really, but that's a pretty good price to be paying.
Yeah.
All right, here is a Magnolia Little Gem, and look how stunning and glossy that foliage is.
Yeah. Now, your Little Gem Magnolia, have a look at all the buds on this one here. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. These are young trees, and this one here right now has got 3 buds opening on it, and it's got another half a dozen buds coming on the way. So what's great about the Little Gem is it flowers nearly all year round. Beautiful dark green foliage, that lovely brown underside on it. Now, these are fast growing, they're easy to grow, they'll grow about 80 centimetres a year, and if you want a really classy hedge or screen, plant your Little Gem Magnolia. Now, normally something like this, you'd be paying $100 for something as tall as this is. These are about 1.4 metres out of the pot, and our normal price on them is $69.99, but right now these are $49.99. I've never had such beautiful little gems so cheaply. That's like 2 of them for $100. It's incredible, and I think at your local nursery, 1.5 metre little gem, you'd be lucky to get one for $100. So $49.99.
Exactly. And are there any bug or disease problems on the Layton green conifer, Chris?
When they have inadequate water or fertilizer, they can get there's no real bugs, but they can get a thing called canker, and canker can be avoided with an annual spray. We've got information on our website, I think, about how to avoid canker with Leighton's green cypress. But what I've noticed is only stress trees where they're not getting adequate water or fertilizer. So what you've got to do to get that top performance from a Leighton's green cypress, you've got to give it a bit of water, you've got to keep the grass and weeds away from the bottom and give it a bit of fertilizer. And when they're growing, they seem to stay really, really healthy. It's when they hit obstacles to their growth, they stop growing and then they can catch disease.
Okay, so as long as you're just taking proper care of it, then there should be absolutely no problems. Fantastic.
Okay, so your Glauca pencil pines. Now, Glauca pencil pines, often I'll get elderly people in here and they've got some units or something going up next door, and they want something to block off a 2-story unit next door. And what I'll do is I'll recommend these to them, and I'll tell them to plant them about 1 metre apart. Now, and generally they'll complain to me that that's a bit of a boring choice, and maybe it is a bit of a boring choice, but the reason for doing this is that when you're getting older, you don't really want to be up a ladder trimming something, and where you might plant something else, you're younger, you plant something else that's, you know, branches and spreads all over the place, and a neighbour says you've got to trim that, or it's branching too far into your place, and you've got to go up high and trim it, or hire someone to go up high. That could all be costly, difficult and dangerous. Your beauty of your Glauca pencil pine, it'll shoot up 7 or 8 metres tall, it'll block out that 2-story block of flats next door, but you won't have to climb it. So if you're old, you won't. And the thing is, these days, if you're paying someone to go up and get them up in the air with all the safety laws and everything that's going on, it's going to cost you a fortune. So these, although they're not perhaps the most exciting thing to plant along the back fence and block out that 2-story block of units, they're probably the most practical, cheap, and safe thing that you could do, and the thing that's not going to cause you, you know, like a big spreading tree and lots of problems down the track. And normally this size here we do for $30. Right now they're $17.99, and you want to jump in and get them because you don't often get the Glauca pencil pine. It's a little hard to propagate and you don't often get it cheap.
Amazing. All right, here is an ornamental pear, and people love their ornamental pears. And also, it's the start of autumn, so you really want to be thinking about how your autumn garden's going to look like. You're about to see up now on that screen now, look at that stunning autumn color. You have it right there. So that's what you can get excited for. All right, tell us about the deal on this one.
Okay, so ornamental pears are the most popular trees these days in Victoria, and they're popular because they're very, very hardy. They have a fairly safe, non-invasive root system. They're hardy. They have beautiful white blossom in spring. They have fabulous autumn colour, and we've got 2 varieties on offer, both for the same really cheap price. Now, if you have a look, if you go into your local nursery and you ask for an ornamental pear that's over 2 metres, you could be paying $200 or $300 for it. These ones are in a 13-inch pot, and this particular grower is very, very keen to sell. Normally would be $139.99. Now you've got a choice between a capital, this one here is actually a capital, and your capital is your tall, narrow one, or a Cleveland, which is your more spreading one. If you're on a country property and you want to get more mileage, more width out of your trees, you go for the Cleveland, or if you're doing a long driveway on a country property, go for the Cleveland, you've got more width. If you're on a city property and you want something that's not too wide, something that's not going to cover over the whole place, you go for the capital. But the thing is the price. Now the price, normally $139.99, we're doing these for $69.99. So $69.99, I think, you know, at some nurseries you'd be lucky to get something as tall as me for $69.99. These are really tall, beautifully grown, nice and tough, and they're cheap enough to cover your country property or your bigger property with an avenue, a screen, and they're great as a tall screen, great as an avenue, great as a windbreak. And remember, white flowers in spring and fabulous autumn colour. So they're a multifaceted, multi-show tree. And for $69.99, you can't beat it. Capital or Cleveland.
And like we said, normally this would be a couple $100. To get a tree that tall and that established, like for $6.99 is just insane. And so you definitely want to hop onto our website, go to Chris's blog, and then the Growers Direct flash sale. And that is where you can find those incredible deals, or you can of course come into the store. Beck, we are based in Campbellfield, Victoria, Australia, but we do offer free delivery for orders over $300 from Traralgon to about Ballarat. and surrounding areas, just hop onto our website. You can see a full list on what suburbs are applicable there. So we've talked about Capital, we've talked about Cleveland Ornamental Pear. Now we're going to move on to Portuguese Laurel.
Now, Portuguese laurel is a really, really useful hedge, and it's a very, very classy hedge. So I'll take you through the Portuguese laurel. Portuguese laurel is evergreen. It's moderately fast growing, so that when it does grow, it's not that hard to maintain as a hedge. You could have a hedge of this. I see hedges around around our area only 1 metre tall. You can have it up to 4 or 5 metres in height. In spring, and now in the winter, it will take terrible frosts. -5, -6, it doesn't matter. So very, very frost hardy. So good for the sort of tableland country out the back of us out here. So anywhere in frosty country, if you want an evergreen hedge, these are really good. They'll also take shade. They'll grow under gum trees. They'll grow under other trees. They do need a bit of water and fertilizer, but really, really classy, quite fast growing. And as you can see here, really strong and thick and bushy. And the other feature is in springtime, they have these glorious white flowers, and the white flowers are like a cat's tail. They sort of come out in a long archway and then hook up a little bit at the end. And the flower, if you were to stretch it out, is probably 20 centimetres long, and they'll be absolutely covered with them. So covered in beautiful white flowers in springtime, beautiful dark green glossy foliage, frost hardy, very, very bushy, and very classy. Makes a beautiful classy hedge. And now normally you'd expect a lovely big bushy ones like this. You'd normally be expecting to pay $139.99, and that's our normal price. We've got these down to $69.99, so you can afford to plant a beautiful big hedge of these.
Beautiful. All right, let's move on to the Camellia Sasanqua Jennifer Susan, and just take a look at how big that is as well.
Yeah, now I'm 1.8, and this is a good, have a look at that, right up to the tip of it. It's a good 30 or 40 centimetres above me, so it's up over 2 metres in height, covered in buds. So if you were to buy these now, you're going to have a beautiful autumn winter show of buds, and they have a fabulous pink flower. Jennifer Susan, big sort of semi-double soft pink. Now these are great in a shady area. They'll also grow in sun right through to shade, need good soil, a bit of water, a bit of fertilizer, but a lovely exotic hedge, screen or specimen or pot plant. Like these, if you can trim them up a little bit, they'll get beautiful, thick and bushy. And you can have these if you had a courtyard and you wanted a lovely big evergreen with some fabulous flowers in autumn and winter. Fabulous for that. And these ones here are a ridiculous price. They are reduced from $69.99 to $49.99, and they're what we call oversized. So normally you'd go to a 12-inch pot for something like this, and you'd pay maybe $150 for this size. So $49.99 for beautiful big Jennifer Susan Sasanqua camellias. Very versatile. Pots, screens, hedges. Grow them in the shade. Grow them in complete shade. They'll be fine.
Beautiful. All right, we got another camellia up next, and this is the Olivia, also in a 10-inch pot, also down from $69.99 to $49.99.
Now this is one of your classic new release varieties. Have a look at this. It's a sort of a, it's from Paradise, the Paradise Nursery up in Sydney, and it's a Camellia Sasanqua, and beautiful sort of like a big pink flower with a sort of a semi-double middle on it. And these are covered in buds. They're absolutely rotten with buds. These are going to give you the most incredible show this autumn. So covered in beautiful flowers, amazing show. Now these could be grown as a pot plant, grown as a hedge, and something this sort of size and quality, you could normally expect to pay $80, $90. We normally sell them for $69.99. They're $49.99. And wow, you couldn't, these will flower for months. They'll be like having a giant flower arrangement. Put them in a pot, and they're only $49.99. So great for a bit of autumn and winter colour, and great for a long-term hedge, screen or specimen.
Beautiful. And autumn is here. So you want to be thinking about your autumn garden, and just imagine how beautiful those pink blooms are going to look all throughout your garden. And it's already like such a big plant that you're buying for so cheap.
Yeah. Now what we have here is the pencil pine of the lily-pilly world. This is called, it should be called the skinny pilly, but they call it straight and narrow. And basically it grows tall and narrow. So if you want to make a beautiful, and you can see how thick and bushy it is. If you want to make a beautiful, now the problem with the straight and narrow is it's ever since it's been released, it's been very popular and highly sought after, and always a bit hard to get and a bit expensive. We normally sell this size here like this for $40, but now we've got them here in 8-inch pots for $19.99. So if you need a skinny pilly or a straight and narrow lily pilly, grows tall and narrow, grow it in a pot, grow it in a garden, grow it in one of them skinny garden beds. Like say you've got two driveways close together and you're trying to separate them. Great choice here, $19.99, and I reckon give it 18 months, you can have it up 2 meters tall, and trim it a little bit. You make it a beautiful thick hedge that was probably only 30 or 40 centimeters wide. So the skinny pilly or lily pilly, skinny one, straight and narrow, $19.99.
Incredible. And just a reminder, you can come in store, you can call us up, or you can shop online for these amazing deals. Scan that QR code there, or go to Chris's blog on our website and then go to the Growers Direct flash sale. And let's keep this moving. We're about halfway through the sales now, so we still got some very exciting things coming up.
How are we going for time?
How are we indeed? We're actually going really well for time.
Cool.
Let's keep going.
So I could tell a few interesting stories, couldn't I?
Oh, maybe a few. Emphasis on less.
Okay. So, like, what we've got here is the sublime lily pilly. Now, your sublime lily pilly is from the Smitho family. The beetles don't eat it. The psyllids don't eat it. The frost doesn't crucify it. It's really, really tough. And it's not it's very dense and bushy. It also doesn't have any purple or red tips. What you've got is beautiful dark green older foliage and lovely lime green, you see it there, lime green new foliage, moderately fast growing, beautiful thick hedge, but really, really tough. If you want to have a low maintenance, no hassles hedge, and classy looking at the same time, sublime lily pilly. And normally they're hard to get and a bit expensive. Our normal price on an 8-inch pot is $42.99. Right now they're $19.99.
How'd you manage to secure that kind of deal, Chris?
Well, I can't really say, but
we can't reveal our sources.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Oh, we love olive trees. We've got an article all about how incredible olive trees are if you want to find out about this wonderful plant and why you need it in the garden.
Now, the tollies can be a little bit hard to get. A lot of people want to have an olive as a specimen. Maybe they want to cloud prune it. Maybe they want to grow it into a hedge. But those same people don't want to have olives. So what we have here is your Tolly's upright olive. So this one grows up tall and narrow, great for a hedge, great for a screen, great to toperize, great to do anything with, and normally a bit pricey and hard to get. Normally these ones here are about, we'll test them on me, these ones here are about, I'd say they're 1.2 metres tall, so good size, 1.2 metres tall, nice and thick and bushy, really heading off to become a nice hedge. And normally you'd expect to pay $149.99 for something like, sorry, where are we?
$69.99.
$69.99, and these are $29.99. That's kind of like, it'll upset the industry a bit, I think. $29.99, crazy price, yeah.
And just quickly going, I believe you're talking about the Sublime Lily Pilly, needing 29 of them. We do have 29, so you definitely can buy 29 of them for that sale price, but you should get in quick because we don't have much more. We have, I think, about 40 to 50 of those plants on sale, so if you want to get 29, you should get them pretty much now or straight after the live just to secure them. All right, let's talk about this one here.
12-inch Sublime. Now these ones here, now we're not going to show which grower they come from. So if you didn't look already, you're not going to find out. So these are the Sublime Lily Pilly. We're not supposed to show which grower because we might get him in the strike. And these are in 12-inch pots, and they're just as tall as our 8-inch pots, but much, much thicker and bushier, ready to make a big, fat, bushy hedge really, really quickly. And at any rate, there it is there. Beautiful light green new growth, dark green older growth, lovely, thick and bushy. Normally $149.99. These are going out for $69.99. So if you want an instant, if you want an instant effect, $69.99, fabulous.
Just pretend you didn't see that, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks. All right, we're going to go to another Magnolia, which, wow, this is an amazing deal, guys. Look at how beautiful that looks.
Yeah, now this one here, is called Kay Parris. Now, I know of a landscape designer and landscaper in Melbourne who will not use anything other than Kay Parris. Now, why Kay Parris? Kay Parris has got a longer, glossier leaf. It hangs more beautifully than the, and normally it's a very expensive, hard to get magnolia, but the leaf, this long, dark green, glossy leaf hangs better than the normal one, so it sits nicer. Does not quite as much brown show, but it has these beautiful big white flowers. You can see it on the label here, but a beautiful big white flower that opens out like that. So really classy, fragrant white flower. So it's a real magnolia with a lot of class to it, and it's compact in size, so you can use it as a normal suburban garden, as a specimen, as a screen, as a hedge, as a pot plant even. So really good versatile plant, and normally pretty expensive and hard to get. Normally $159.99. We've got them for $69.99. So really good value. And we'll measure it up against me. Oh. So I'd say about 1.2, 1.3 meters tall. Really good for $69.99. A big bushy camellia like this. Yeah, right? I didn't say that wrong. $69.99. It's enormous for that price. So $69.99 and beautiful big bushy camellia, magnolia.
Yeah, so normally $159.99 down to $69.99.
Hey, no, change that one. I've got those out the back and they're this tall.
Also, I see your question, Simon. How tall do they grow?
Down in the overflow section. I want to sell those ones.
I've just seen it now, Simon, your question about how tall do they grow.
Do the dense
Could you just comment again, please, what plant you're referring to? Just because I'm not sure when you commented it. And I just want to make sure I'm answering the right plant question. So if you could just comment the name again, and I'll ask that to Chris. So we'll move on to the next plant.
Okay, what we've got here is we've got a Viburnum dense fence. Now what this is that this is your sweet viburnum that I was talking about earlier. It's in a 12-inch pot, and you can see it's about 95 centimeters tall. It's probably 50 or 60 centimeters wide. Now, your dense fence is a special cultivar of your sweet viburnum, and it's put out by Australia's leading sort of seller of a special plant breeder rights ones. It's put out by what are they called? They're called Ausbreed. So it's an Ausbreed product, and they produce some of the most valuable or some of the most sought after hybrids in Australia, things like the Lamandra tunica and things like that. And this one here has been selected because if you look at it, it's got the leaves are close together. There's lots and lots of leaves. They're a bit smaller than the normal sweet viburnum, and they're much denser. And so it doesn't grow up as quickly, but you can see it's really going bushy and like that. So if you wanted to grow a hedge that wasn't too fast growing, and you wanted a hedge that was, say, somewhere between, say, 70 or 80 centimetres and, say, 2 or 2.5 metres in height, which is where a lot of people want it, and you want something a little bit tougher, these will take more sun, more dry, more of everything than your normal sweet viburnum. So tougher, slower, denser, faster, and normally a bit more expensive. But these ones here, instead of paying $99 for one like that, you're paying $69.99. And really good for that special hedge. Very, very dense, very, very tough, frost hardy. Takes much drier conditions, hotter, sunnier conditions without any sunburn. Really, really good, tough, dense hedge. And also, it barely flowers and barely ever produces a berry. So almost never flowers, almost never produces a berry. You could actually say non-flowering and non-berrying, but it does have the very odd flower.
Just that little technicality. Now we're going back to the Snow Maiden Indian Hawthorn. And here is that massive one that Chris was talking about, much bigger than what you saw before.
Actually, bring out that other one. Where is that? Is that other one there?
Oh, just for a size comparison.
Now, normally when you buy a 12-inch
wow,
Snow Maiden,
when
you normally buy, this is what you normally get. But we've got a limited batch of them, and they're about 1.2 or 1.3 meters tall. Remember, I'm 1.8. Now, this is a really, really hardy. I don't think I've been selling these for 12 or 14 years, and I don't think anyone's ever come in. and said that their Snow Maiden died.
Amazing. We're just going to rotate that part around a little bit.
Yeah.
Perfect.
They're really, really tough, and they're beautiful dense green foliage. You can keep them sort of 80 or 90 centimeters tall, or grow them up to 1.5. Beautiful low hedge, and in late winter, early spring, the most glorious crop of white blossom. So fabulous white blossom, and that's why they call them a snow maiden, because they look like they're just covered in beautiful white snow.
Incredible. How wide does the Cleveland tree grow? Our driveway is 60 meters long.
60 meters long. I reckon 7 or 8 meters is a nice spacing, and they're going to quite quickly end up 4 or 5 meters wide. And what's great about the Cleveland is that there's a row of them just near the nursery here, and they look like peas in a pod. I've never seen another tree. They're grafted. They're all cloned from each other and grafted. But I've never seen another tree where when you put them in a row, they're more even. They're a beautiful teardrop shape, pointy at the top, fat at the bottom, lovely sort of teardrop shape. And plant a row of them, and they're amazing at how equally they'll grow.
Incredible. And another question here from Simon. How tall does the straight and narrow grow? That was what he wanted to know.
I'd say it's a bit more compact, a bit slower than some of the other lily peas. I'd sort of count on 3.5 to 4 meters.
Amazing. And also another question. Could you please tell me which fertilizer is best for lily pillies? I followed your advice and started flood watering my lily pillies once a week, and they've gone berserk.
If they're a bit hungry and I wanted to give them a sort of a bit of a kick along, I'd use power feed on them to kick them off and to catch them quickly. Like whack a bit of power feed on them if they're hungry. But Osmocote, just your all-purpose Osmocote, is great as a long-term thing. And give them a good dose every 6 months.
Perfect. Also, if you guys are able to include the plant name when you're commenting, it will just help me out, just because we're on quite a few platforms. So I am trying to keep up as much as I can between each platform, but sometimes a comment will go missed and we'll have like moved on to the next plant. So I would much appreciate that, please. All right, we'll go on to the next one now.
Now this is a Casuarina green wave, and these grow sort of like 2.5 meters tall. They clip beautifully, or you can just let them grow natural. But if you wanted to have say you had a windy, difficult location, and maybe it was hot and dry, maybe the soil's poor, you know, like it's a really tough situation, you can grow these. They grow into a sort of a round ball. They'll grow like 2.5 meters tall, maybe 1.8 meters round, and they're lovely and soft and green. You can clip them or just let them grow natural. They're fast and they're really, really tough. And in that really difficult site where you don't know what to grow, these are the really tough, easy to grow, green. They're called green wave, but I think that'd have been better to call them big green balls. So next one. Now,
again, just for any questions that are coming through that aren't related to the live sale we're doing right now, we just don't have the time to be answering them. So we do a live Q&A every Monday, 12 p.m., whatever platform you're on right now. And that is the space for you to come with all of these questions. And then we dedicate that time purely to just answering your questions. I'm also not sure, you ask one of the questions, which are the best of those trees for a mixed O-lamt, like O-L-A-M-T? I'm not sure, is that ringing any bells, or is that a typo?
I think it might be a typo.
Might be a typo. Maybe just try, commenting that question again, just because I'm not quite sure what you're asking there.
Now, what I've noticed is that bay trees can be used as standards. They can be used as topiaries. They can be pleached. That's where you trim up the bottom branches and have like a trunk with like a big bushy head on the top. Or they can be just grown as a hedge. They're frost hardy, they're drought hardy, they're wind hardy, and they're shade hardy. So they're a very, very versatile plant that almost anyone could grow almost anywhere, and a great, and they, with trimming they can be kept very, very compact. But and because they're so hardy and they're so versatile, they're highly sought after at the moment. And a lot of times you go to buy one in a big pot and it'll only be little and tiny. These are big ones in little pots, and so they're big, they're in small pots, and they're cheap. So these ones here, you could standardise these, you could pleach them, you could do what you like with them. You grow them in a pot, grow them in a courtyard, grow them in the backyard, or just grow them as one in the back of the veggie patch to use the leaves. But these ones here, I reckon they're 1.4 to 1.5 metres tall. Normally we sell them for $59 $39.99, but these ones here are $49.99. So $49.99 for a nice tall bay tree.
Fantastic. All right, now we're going on to another magnolia. Magnolias are such beautiful, beautiful trees and suit so many styles of gardens. Here you have the fairy white.
So this is your fairy white magnolia. Now this is a beautiful, you trim it up a little bit as it grows. It grows sort of 1.5, 2, maybe 3 meters tall, you know, how much you let it grow. Nice fine foliage, great for hedging. And in springtime, it gets covered in these white flowers about this size, absolutely covered in them, and they're fabulously fragrant. And my daughter's planted a hedge of them around her place in Monbulk, and when they come into flower, people come up on a Saturday and they'll knock on the door and say, "Tell me, what sort of magnolia have you got?" And
Here's just some water for you, Chris. I can
you.
imagine you're getting quite thirsty in this heat.
So these are a fabulous magnolia, incredible show of white fragrant flowers in springtime. And where a lot of magnolias can get very, very big, this one could be kept, you could keep one of these with trimming as little as 1.5 meters or grow it up to 3 meters or something like that. So compared to a lot of magnolias, quite a compact sort of a magnolia and very, very heavy flowering in spring.
Beautiful. Such stunning flowers.
And so I didn't go into it. $24.99 they are. So they're 3 foot tall and they're $24.99.
Down from $34.99. Here is another magnolia with fairy in its name as well, and it is down from $34.99 to $24.99 as well. Can you tell us about the differences between them, maybe why they should pick one over the other?
Okay, now this has all the same applications. You'll find it's frost hardy, heat hardy, fast growing, exactly the same as the white fairy, but this one here is a very gentle cream. And so it just suits some people better. So beautiful, gentle cream. But what I want you to look at is these ones here, cream fairies, $34.99 down to $24.99. And look at the size. Like if you went around and asking for, this is about 1.2, 1.3 meters. If you're asking for those, they'd normally be in a bigger pot and they'd be $80 or $90. So these ones here are $24.99.
So you're just seeing deals here like you've never seen before, and it's because of our close relationship with our growers. So we were actually out there on Thursday, Chris and I, to some of the nurseries that supply our plants. And because we've been working with them for so long, and they have such incredible plants, we all have such a close relationship with them. So we are able to strike these deals with them, which we can then pass on to you. So everyone benefits because we get to sell stock of the growers, we get to pass on our incredible deals to you, the customer, and it's just amazing. Like you could make your entire your entire garden just from the plants in this sale. How fantastic is that?
Okay, now there's a big store that's been running a promotion called the Perfect Hedge. At any rate, and here it is here, and what this is called a broadleaf mint or gristolini. At any rate, it's got that lovely crinkly leaf, that beautiful green, and that fabulous texture of the ficus, but it doesn't have the bad root system, and it's more frost hardy. So, and it's good if you want to grow a hedge, say between 1.5 and say 3 or 4 meters in height. Beautiful leaf, beautiful texture, and normally they're a bit expensive and hard to get. Our normal price is $39.99. These ones here, almost 3 foot tall, and we've got them for $17.99. That's what some nurseries would charge you for a 6-inch pot, and these are beautifully developed, thick, bushy, 8-inch pots.
Beautiful. Now the next one we have here is Sky Pencil Holly.
Let's get rid of that. That's the wrong one. We're supposed to get them from what? Okay, give me a nice big one. Give me something else I can show people. That's no good.
Just getting another one to show you guys. In the meantime, we're going to move on. We're just going to skip this one and come back to it. And here is a gorgeous Inaba Shidara Japanese maple.
Right, okay. So these are normally $2.99, and we've got these down to $1.39. So, and it's very hard to get a Japanese maple, you know, at a really good price. And not only that, we've got hundreds of them for you to choose from. So $139.99. And give this 12 months, it's going to be a beautiful big 4-weeping maple. And when you get them this height like this, they're great to grow on the patio, in the courtyard, in a nice big pot. So $139.99.
Wow, just incredible. All right, we're going to now move on to another Japanese maple, and this one is looking massive. And the price we're selling it for is pretty much unreal. Chris is going to disappear a little bit behind there, but there you see. Just take a look at how beautiful that is. That is massive. All right, tell us a little bit about that maple, and then
Have
get
a look.
excited for what this deal is, guys.
This is an orangeola, and look at the colour they go in the autumn. Unbelievable. Beautiful fine foliage. Now, how this has occurred, somebody's planted a seed, and I'd say that they planted a seed maybe 15 years ago, and it's grown up over 4 or 5 years to it's about probably 1.8 metres. Then they've done, if you look in here, they've done 3 grafts on this. So this had 3 grafts on the head to make a beautiful full head. So 3 grafts, so it's really got 3 heads all wound together. Lovely fine foliage. This is something that would grow into a real classic. Another year from now, it'll be enormous in a pot. It could be selling for well over $1,000. And our normal price on this is $549. The growers let a few go, and we're doing them for $289. So take a really good look at that. That's $289, and it's lovely thick trunk. It's a real garden classic, and it's something that would grow in value and grow in quality. It's basically a horticultural work of art, and for $289, it's absolutely fabulous. It's almost cascading to the ground. Certainly with the spring growth, it'll be cascading to the ground. Now, a person could grow this as a feature in a garden. They could grow it as a pot. And you know, I've got them out here, and I've had them all summer long in the full sun. So it'll take the full sun as long as it's well watered and planted properly, and looked after and fertilised it a little bit. So orangeola, Japanese maple, $549 down to $289.99.
And we just want to express, you are not going to get deals like this anywhere else. Like, to sell a Japanese maple of that size for that price is pretty much unheard of. And so how you want to secure this deal, because it's going to end Friday, is either come in store, we're in Campbellfield, Victoria, or you can shop online, go to hellohelloplants.com, go to Chris's blog, and then it is the Growers Direct Flash Sale 4.0, where you'll find all the prices. Alternatively, you could also just search up the plant name, so that was the Orangeola Japanese maple, or you can call us up and do it via that way. But yeah, you're never, like, once that deal's gone, it is gone forever, and you're never going to get a Japanese maple like that for that price.
Right, now, just a little thing. This is the Sky Pencil Holly, and we're selling a smaller size of this. We have 8-inch pots that are about 60 centimetres tall, and we're doing them for $19.99. And this one here is a bit bigger, a bit taller. But what a Sky Pencil is, a Sky Pencil a Sky Pencil is like a pencil pine that's not a pine tree. So it's got a beautiful leaf on it like an English box. They've got fabulous foliage like an English box. It's really, really hardy. And you can grow it in the shade, you can grow it in the hot sun, you can give it a little trim, you can keep it at 1 metre tall, or 1.5 metres, or 2 metres, or 2.5, or even 3 metres in height. Trim it off, doesn't grow, it's not a tree, it's just a big skinny bush. And a lot of people have got, with their small blocks of land, have got very narrow gardens or very narrow areas up the garden path, and these give you that tall, skinny, that beautiful tall, skinny, look. And we've got them, normally they're $50 or $59.99. We've got them for $19.99. So $19.99, Sky Pencil, very, very useful tool for garden design.
Amazing. Now here's another Orangeola in a smaller pot size. Still quite advanced and quite big at the moment for this price, but just take a look. You can really see that beautiful foliage there.
Right, okay. So this
and
is,
it looks like someone's already going to buy it, so you should probably get in quick before it's all gone. We do have a couple in stock, but as you can see, it's down from $229.99 down to $139.99.
Yeah, now have a look at this. It's cascading all the way to the ground. Now, what the story behind this, I know the chap who grew this one very, very well. And what he did was he grew a seedling for 2 years, then he planted the seedling in rows in the field, grew it for another 2 years, and then he grafted it, grew it for another year, and then he dug it up last winter, put it in the pot, and got his sort of finish on it. So this is a 4 or 5 year project, and it's incredible that you can buy something like this for what is it?
That is $139.99. I also just want to stress there's only 3 in stock at this price. 3, and it looks like one's already going, so it's probably going to be 2 in stock by the time this live ends. So you can buy it in stock here in the nursery right now, or you can shop online or call us up. So that is a 13-inch Orangeola Japanese maple for $129.99.
Yeah, and you know something? Say we offered that last one there, which was normally $5.49. Do you know in 2 years you can have this up to the size of that $5.49 one?
Wow, incredible. Yeah. Yes, just like we said before, there was a 20-inch pot before, which was for $289.99. And this one is a 13-inch pot for $139.99. How tall do they grow?
Really, this one here, if you didn't do anything with it, it would never grow much taller. But say you wanted it taller, what you can do is you can take a branch like this and you can weave it. What I'd do is I'd get a bit of bamboo and I'd weave it around a bit of bamboo and up like that, and then it would come down from up higher. So you can actually weave these up, and you'd probably even take 2 pieces up, do it nice and carefully like that, up a piece of bamboo, put on some black electrical tape, and then it'll cascade down next year from up there.
But the thing is, what we love about the Weeper is that it doesn't grow much taller, and that's what makes it so perfect for a smaller sized garden, because it's just going to cascade and bush out and bush down rather than going up much taller.
Yeah. Now, what I've been in the nursery business for all my life, basically. Started helping my dad as soon as I could walk. At any rate, what's interesting is that I know all the people that produce weeping maples, and do you know that there's only 6 or 7 people in Victoria that actually are able to produce weeping maples, and a few of them.
And there goes, sorry to interrupt, there goes the Orangeola Japanese maple, literally being sold right now as we talk, which is very funny. So these deals are going quick, guys. We're not making it up. They're literally going as we speak.
What it is, there's only 6 or 7 people that know how to grow a weeping maple in Victoria, and some of them are getting older and retiring. And weeping maples, it takes, even with all my years of experience, I'd have to study for a couple of years to be able to produce a weeping maple like this one here. So they're very, not really difficult plant, but a highly skillful plant to grow. And that's why they're a little bit expensive, and they're not common, because it takes a tree like this is probably somewhere between 5 and 7 years of age, and it's taken some real skill to get it to where it is now. Now this one here is a fantastic one. It's called a Nishiki Fountain. Now we've got a big one here. We might.
Oh, we got a big one. I don't even think this is going to fit on the screen, guys.
Put it over.
Here it is coming in. Wow.
Right. Okay.
Wow. Now, I'm going to pan up this just to show how
and have we got it one of my full ones? Do we show the full one?
Look at that.
You know, like
wow, it just keeps going.
Yeah. So anyway, so what you've got here is that this one here, I'd say that the understock on this one here was maybe 7 years of age, and it's been grafted up here 2 or 3 times, and it's been dug from the field last winter, and this one here is going to cascade right down to the ground. Now, with this Nishiki Fountain, up until a few years ago, I'd never even seen or heard of anything like that. But what happened is I bought a couple of them, put them in the nursery, and they had the most extraordinary autumn colour that I've ever seen. Like, it is unbelievable. You've got yellows, you've got oranges, you've got reds, you've got purples, you've got every sort of colour, and it all seems to come at once. And there's tall ones, the big bushy one, yeah. He's can't bring it, is he?
We have Nishiki Fountain for quite a lot of different sizes, so we're just bringing them in. But I'm just going to back you guys up a little bit, just to really show off the scope and the difference between all these sizes.
So this one here will get a very, very thick bushy head. And you can see that this is grown from up here down to here this summer. So it's a very vigorous, it's very different to all the other weeping maples. It doesn't have the cut leaf and has amazing autumn colour. Now you could grow one of these in a pot. You could grow one of these in the garden. It will make an amazing feature, most incredible autumn colour. And it's your Nishiki Fountain, and it's the most different weeping maple that we've got, and I love it. I think it's one of the best around.
Incredible.
And this is your 90. Now your 90-litre pot is reduced from $1,000 to $539, and your 13-inch pot is reduced from $229. That's this one here, $229 down to $139.
Amazing. Can we chuck all the sizes just together next to each other, just so everyone can get a bit of perspective on all those different sizes.
What about
So those are the big ones that you saw. Now we're going to bring in some little ones.
Now later on, before we finish, there's big full ones, fantastic ones, like the ones that are many years old, the fat and bushy out there. No, not Alan, this one. This one in old. Get someone to bring one up. You guys keep going here. We'll get someone to bring one up. So here you've got your Nishiki fountain.
So this is
6
in the
inch,
smaller size.
and then
this
8
is
inch.
if you are on more of a budget and you don't can't
Yeah, put
afford
them
a
up
big
together, we'll do it
established
together.
tree, you can get something like this. So just to reiterate, we have a 13-inch pot, we got a 90-litre pot, we got an 8-inch pot, and an 8-inch pot, and a 6-inch pot, all in the Nishiki fountain.
Yeah. Now here you've got Nishiki fountains. These 6-inch pots and 8-inch pot are seedling Nishiki fountains. Now what's interesting about that, if you love bonsai, you don't love the ones that are grafted up high. You want to have them coming up from the ground. So these ones here are fantastic to make beautiful bonsais out of. You can make the most extraordinary bonsais. And the 8-inch pot is this one here, has been reduced from $129.99 to $30.99.
Whew.
And this one here, so for a pot plant, and you can get these, you can train them up. You can actually turn this one here. It's this one here is a 6-inch pot. It's $15.99. If you spend a couple of years trimming and training this one here, it could turn into the $549.99 one. So, so there you go. This would turn into $549.91 in a few years of trimming and training. So $15.99 reduced from $89.99 for the 6-inch and $129.99 down to $30.99 for the 8-inch.
So that's literally a quarter of the price.
So
not even half price, it's a quarter of the price for those beautiful Japanese maples there.
Yeah. So you can grow these as a pot plant. You can grow them as a pot plant, or grow them as a
This one is very
bonsai.
tall. Here you go. I'm bringing you guys up just so you can really see how tall it is. That one just keeps going and going. We are based in Campbellfield, Victoria, Australia. But like I've mentioned before, we offer free delivery when you purchase over $300 in select areas within Victoria, from Traralgon to Ballarat, plus obviously the areas kind of in between. Yeah, tell us about this gigantic tree.
Okay, so everybody's seen every year when the cherry blossoms come out in Japan, the news on TV, they love it because it's so photographic and so beautiful. You'll see photos of young couples riding bicycles together with their bicycles decorated in blossom, and they'll be going under beautiful avenues of the most beautiful blossoms. Well, and you look at that and you wonder, are those true Japanese blossoms actually available in Australia? Well, yes, they are. What we have here is the Yoshino cherry. It's been grafted as a standard, and that's going to bush out, and that's going to give you those exact blossoms that you see on TV with the young couple riding with their bicycle decorated. In fact, you could get a bicycle decorated with a few blossoms of this, ride it underneath, and feel like you're on a trip to Japan. So
sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah.
And Japan is the place to be right now.
Yes.
With the spring blossoms, obviously,
That's right.
starting now, pretty much, or very soon.
So this one here is going to have the beautiful, genuine Japanese spring blossoms. It's a standard, so it's going to spread out on the top here like that. And instead of paying $249.99, you're paying $139.99. And what's great about this one here, and why they graft them as a standard, is that you're able to put it in a small garden or courtyard, and you're able to walk underneath it with it bushing out over your head, rather than having it bushing down low and sort of having to, this one here, you can put a seat under it and enjoy your Japanese, or ride your bicycle under it too.
Amazing. And I'd just like to say, a plane ticket to Japan is about $1,000. I know because I'm going myself soon. Whereas this is only $139.99. Then you have Japan in your backyard forever then. So really, it's quite a good price. Is there any hope of getting delivery to Perth, Chris?
No.
No, so sorry. Maybe move to Victoria. Melbourne's a great place to live. All right, tell us about this.
Got a great range of cheap plants over here in Melbourne, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tell us about this beautiful maple.
This is a Norwegian maple. It's an Acer globosum, and this is going to grow into a beautiful big round green ball. It's going to have fabulous orange autumn colour. And what it is, it's one of those ball on a stick trees or mop top type trees, but where some of them might produce some suckers or other problems, this is vice free. You've got no suckers, beautiful round head, nothing smelly, nothing prickly, nothing terrible coming off it. It's probably, if you want an inoffensive tree, it's probably the perfect tree. Doesn't ever get too big, doesn't mind a bit of a trim, trunk never gets too big, roots aren't a problem. Fabulous tree, and it's a designer mop top, and they're reduced from $399.99 to $159.99 for one, and it's 1.8 meters tall. So when you plant this in your garden, you'll be able to walk underneath it.
Beautiful. Also, yes, the Cleveland ornamental pear is included in this sale. So the Cleveland ornamental pear we are selling for a 13-inch pot down from $139.99 to $69.99. So yes, the Cleveland ornamental pear is part of the sale, and how you get this, just for anyone who has come in. Sorry, someone's saying, Chris, that I should get a raise. This has been such a great life. Thank you for commenting that. So how you get these sales is you can come in store to us. We're in Campbellfield, Victoria. You can shop online at our website or call us up. Wow, take a look at that.
Now, this is just a sort of a backtracking a little bit. This is a this is one of your Nishiki fountains, and this is one that we've had in store for maybe 2 years, and it's grown in the most beautiful, thick bushy weeper. I just wanted to see people to see that these will grow into beautiful, thick bushy weepers and have the most glorious autumn colour you've ever seen.
Amazing, and look at that beautiful full foliage.
Yeah.
Just remind us again of the price there.
Right, so we've got them for $139.99, and we've got them in a 90-litre pot. Not quite as big a head as this, but taller than this. Beautiful tall ones, the tallest weepers I've ever seen in the store. And they are $549.99.
Incredible, so beautiful. All right, let's go on to the other plant that we were talking about.
Now, this is one of the most beautiful mop tops around. It's called a designer mop or a catalpa mop, and this one's grafted fairly low down. It's grafted about 1.5 meters, and this will grow into a beautiful ball 2 or 3 meters round. And it has no vices. It doesn't sucker, it doesn't flower, all it does is produce a crop of leaves, then drop the leaves, and it's dense. And when you plant this in the garden, you've really got it going. The leaves on this are going to be bigger than a bread and butter plate. So really beautiful, big, exotic leaf, very exotic. We've got a wonderful video coming out in the next week or so where we showed a couple of these in a garden, and we show what a unique and wonderful garden that these can make.
Beautiful. Do we deliver to Adelaide by any chance?
Yes, we do. We can deliver to Adelaide. It works best, like little tiny plants go in the post, and big plants go over by the pallet full. And a pallet to Adelaide is $400 to $500. But you can get a lot of stuff onto a pallet.
Yep, and especially for all these deals, I mean, you're probably saving a lot of money if you were shopping at your nursery, if you are doing a big garden project, or if you are just wanting a small little plant.
But Melbourne is really the nursery capital of Australia, and the diversity that we're showing you today and the diversity we'll show you next week isn't available in Adelaide, unfortunately.
It just isn't. Victoria is just honestly the best place for gardens and plants and horticulture.
Okay, what we've got here is a Murasaki Kaihaim, a Murasaki Kaihaim Japanese maple. Now what this is a compact Japanese maple. See how dense the growth is in here. What's going to happen, it's grafted up on a standard, and if you planted this in your garden, it's going to be quite fascinating what will happen. It'll grow really quickly for a year or two and have these long growths like that, and it'll end up sort of 2.5 meters tall and maybe 2 meters wide, and then it'll slow right down, and it'll have dense fine foliage. It'll have fabulous autumn color, and it'll be on a lovely clean stem like that. So if you wanted a Japanese maple that grew upright, that had a green spring summer foliage, fabulous red autumn color, and was compact and dense and beautiful and really unusual, it's a Murasaki Kaihaim. And they're reduced from $159.99 down to $109. So $109 gets you a very exotic. This could go really good in a tub, or it could go really good in a small garden.
Amazing. And just for anyone new who has joined, what we're doing today is a grower direct flash sale. We're so close with our growers that we actually can strike such amazing deals, which we can pass on to you, the customer. So we actually went and visited all of these growers in person. I was there with Chris, and he was chatting with them just about what kind of plants to do. And in today's sale, we're doing 3 categories. We're doing carpets, lawns and cascades, hedges and screens, and now we're onto standards and topiary. Don't stress if you missed out on what we were saying before. All of this information can be found online, of course, and you can shop all these deals online too. But what we're doing right now is just going through every plant and just teaching you about it and why you need it in the garden. Tell us about this one.
These haven't been topiarized, but I think I've been noticing in some gardens, I've been noticing nandinas like Moonbay nandinas and various nandinas that have been cut into balls, and they're fabulous. These topiarise beautifully, and these were such lovely fat round little balls, and they're not expensive at all. They're really not expensive. These have been reduced from $79.99 to $39.99. Now, this is the lemon lime nandina, and basically you've got dark green older growth and it's beautiful lemony new growth, really fabulous. So beautiful, beautiful growth. Plant these, clip them lightly at the start, clip them into a round ball, and these will make the most beautiful topiary balls. And to be able to get a topiary ball in your garden for $39.99, and they're one that won't need to be trimmed too often, don't need too much water, don't need too much of anything, and beautiful colour, fabulous for a modern garden. Clip them into a ball, $39.99, lemon lime nandina.
Fantastic. Now here's another beautiful, colourful foliage. Now the trick to having a garden that has colour all year round is actually colourful foliage. But the best thing about this is that it actually gives you flowers too. You can just see a little bit in the foliage there, but also on that screen behind you.
Okay, now this is Laura Petal and Plum Delight, a beautiful sort of mauvey purple with pink flowers. And again, it's not a topiary yet, but I was thinking these make the most beautiful topiary ball. And this would, with a light clip and a spring growth, you could have the most beautiful big ball in your garden that's purple. I mean, everyone's got green balls in their gardens, but purple balls are very unusual. And so, fabulous value. These are $110.99 down to $69.99. So $69.99. Laura Petal and Plum Delight, big and beautiful and ready to be turned into fabulous balls.
Fantastic. All right, next up we got a Shaina Standard in a 13-inch pot.
Yeah, now,
take a look at that.
Now, some people reckon that the weepers make them sad.
Oh.
And they like upright trees. They won't have a weeper in their garden. But if you want a standard maple that's not weeping, this is a Shaina. Now, a Shaina, what happens? The Shaina grows up very quickly, and then it gets a couple of years of fast leggy growth like this. Then it goes into a couple of years of really dense bushy growth, and the Shaina becomes the most beautiful dense bushy ball, the most amazing, brilliant sort of pinky colour in spring, reddy browns in summer, and scarlet in the autumn. So a fabulous source of colour, nice and compact. You grow your Shaina in a pot, grow your Shaina as a specimen in a small garden bed, put it on either side of a staircase. It's out in the garden. Really good to sort of a standout plant to really mark an area. And our 13-inch pots normally $149.99. These have been reduced to $119.99. Fabulous price for a standard Shaina.
Very, very beautiful. Next up, we got the Ficus Hilli Flash in an 8-inch pot.
Okay, so what we have here is that normally this size and quality here is $39.99. Oh, it says here $49.99. So $49.99, normally $49.99. And these ones here have been reduced to $24.99. I'm sure that it's only for this week, but I'm sure that is the best price in Melbourne. And now property developers use these. People grow them in pots. They grow them in containers. There's a hotel over in Caroline Springs that's bought hundreds of these off me and got them all around their car park and all around everywhere. They're a low maintenance, really, really hardy tree. They only grow as big as you let them grow. Like you could have this ball 2 meters round, or you have it half a meter round. So you can grow it as a little ball, and the stem never grows any longer. The stem will get thicker, and they grow taller by virtue of the ball getting bigger. So So you decide how big these grow by you clipping them. But at $24.99, you can pay me extra if you feel guilty. If you feel like you're shoplifting here and only paying $24.99 for these, you could slip a little bit extra in the till, you know. But $24.99 is all we're asking on these. It's a crazy deal.
If your morals are telling you this is actually just too cheap to
Yeah.
pay for such a beautiful price, such a beautiful plant, we understand.
Yeah, I'm worried about people feeling guilty at these prices. So these ones here, normally these are beautiful lily pillies, and they're normally $49.99, and we're doing these ones for $29.99. These are going to grow quickly. You can put them in a pot. You can put them in a pot. You can put them in. You put them in a pot. You can put them out on a balcony. They're very, very tough. Grow them in the garden. Plant an avenue of them. Put them up and down the driveway. Really good size. And these, you can allow the heads to grow bigger like this. You can have the head nice and big or really big. You can grow it a bit elongated up the driveway. And these ones here, $29.99.
Wow, incredible. Such a beautiful plant. Now, for anyone that's just come in new or just wants a refresher, how you can get these deals is just by going online to our website, which is hellohelloplants.com, and then you can either search up the plant name, you can scan that QR code there, or you can find it on Chris's blog. It's the most recent article, Growers Direct Flash Sale 4.0, and then you'll see every single plant in this sale there, and you can click and collect, you can shop online, you can take a hold of our free delivery service, and all of that. So you can get a beautiful garden for so cheap and so conveniently as well.
Now, if anybody's ever grown some English box, you'd wonder how old this is. This one here, I'd say, I'm just guessing, but I think this would have to be somewhere between 7 and 10 years of age to get it up this tall and trim it up into a lovely round ball like this. And at any rate, we normally sell something like this for $200, and we've got plenty of them. You can plant them in pairs or plant them how you like. But right now on the Growers Direct Flash Sale, they're $119.99. Now for a 7-year-old plant of this size, that's an amazing price, $119.99. Now what's great about your English box standard is you can grow them in the hot sun, or if you've got a veranda, you can grow them in the shade. Now with something like this, what you could do is you could plant something like a bacopa underneath and have beautiful white, pink or blue flowers, or even a mixture of flowers, but there's room to grow something underneath and turn this into a really exciting feature in a pot. And they're great, and they're very hardy and long lasting as a pot plant, but grow some flowers underneath and really make this exciting. $119.99.
Fantastic. All right, moving on to now a Japanese box.
Now these are your Japanese box. Japanese box, a different texture to your English box, faster growing, tougher in most respects. Really, really fabulous box ball. Now they're normally $329.99. We've got them for $269.99, and these Japanese box are kind of the latest big fashion in the box balls in Melbourne, and you find big ones are very, very hard to get. So to get them at all is a bit of a feat, but to get them for $269.99 is a fabulous thing. Grow them in a pot, grow them in the garden. They're a really standout green ball.
Beautiful. And that's if you're wanting something different than the typical English box, because English box is very popular for good reason, but a lot of gardens have it, so there's something a little bit more different.
Yeah. Now these are English box. They need a bit of a feed. They need planting out and potting on. You can grow these in a big pot, but basically these will become a beautiful dark green big ball. Now you'd have trouble getting a 16-inch box ball. This would be a 9 or 10 years old. You'd have trouble getting anything like this for under $300. These are crazy. These are $99. They are a bit sort of yellowy brown, but I have no worries at all. I'm going to do 100 of these in pots for spring sale, and they'll be $400 or $500 each in spring. Beautiful big dark green balls.
Wow, imagine buying a 10-year plant, 10 years to grow that, only for $99.99. Incredible. That's only $100, and it's only available until Friday, guys, so you want to get in quick.
Now this is the craziest deal that we've got today, and it's because I've been advised by my advisors that I should do a couple of things where we actually lose money. And I don't know if it's a good idea, but we're doing it anyway. $199 is a normal price, and a lot of stores you'd pay $300 for a nice weeping Japanese maple. This weeping cherry. This is a white blossom. It's called a snow fountain. It's going to cascade to the ground. Now this spring, this has got a 2-year-old head. So this spring it's going to be covered in beautiful white blossoms. So a beautiful show this spring. Now this is a centerpiece for a small garden. So you can have this as a centerpiece or plant 2 of them as 2 centerpieces in front of a lovely modern house or even a cottage style garden. There's lots of applications for these. And this will grow into a beautiful big bushy round head. It'll never get much taller than what you see here. Has a very inoffensive root system and fabulous show of beautiful white snow-like flowers in springtime. And these are $59.99. So $59.99, under $60, 6 foot tall. At most nurseries, that wouldn't even get you the deposit on one of these. So $59.99.
How old is that tree, do you reckon, Chris?
I'd say 5 years old.
Wow, yeah, and weeping cherries are very, very popular.
Now,
so the fact that Chris just said we're going to be losing money, that's how good the sale is. So you're really going to want to get in because we're not going to do something like this again, obviously.
Yeah, so here we've got a weeping cherry for $129.99. Well, that's the normal price. It's 2-year-old head, lovely one. This a small size one like this would be happy in a container, a nice big pot for the rest of its life. You could grow it in the garden, grow it in a small garden bed. Beautiful small feature. It'll be cascading, covered in white blossom in springtime. It's a snow fountain, and it just illustrates how cheap those bigger ones are. This one here is $10 dearer. It's been reduced from $129.99 to $69.99. So $69.99, beautiful small weeping cherry, great for a pot.
Fantastic. Also, guys, we're down to the last 3 plants of the sale. How insane is that? Has anyone stuck around the whole time? I'd love to hear it. If you want to comment below if you've been here from the start. If not, don't worry. I mean, you're here now. These are our last 3 plants. And I just want to say, this stunning Japanese maple you see here, there are only 2 in stock at this price, 2. So if you want it, get it now.
Okay, so this one here is called an Allen. Now, it grows like crazy. In no time at all, this is going to be, it grows sort of quite wide before it comes down. And it has beautiful fine green foliage. You can grow it in the shade, grow it in the sun. You'll find it a particularly hardy, fast-growing weeping maple. But if you came in here, I've got some really big old ones of these I could show you. But what's interesting about this is the autumn color. This is going to turn the richest and most beautiful purple in the autumn. So fabulous, thick, bushy, big, thick, bushy head. This is a kind of a grand weeping maple that could stand up and be a big feature somewhere in the garden. Amazing purple autumn color, fabulous green foliage, really, really interesting maple. And it's going to develop a big head very, very quickly. And normally they're $349.99. They're a bit of a collector's item. This one here is going out for $199.99.
And like I said, there's only 2 available. 2 available at $199.99. Normally $349.99.
Now, putting big balls in the garden is very, very popular at the moment. And it's kind of lovely seeing lovely big balls in the garden, then other sort of looser flowing grasses and other things around it. And this is a native, so this would work well. This could be used in a native garden, or it could be used in a cottage garden or exotic garden. And if you keep clipping it, a year from now, you could have this 1 metre tall and 1 metre wide as a ball. It'll expand. The basic ball shape's been made, and every time you clip it, you let it get a bit bigger. So this could be a big and spectacular ball in your garden. It's going to have beautiful pale blue flowers in spring and right through the summer. So lovely flowers and lovely fine foliage. It's very, very tough. It's an Australian native. And for a ball, it's really, really good value. It's instead of $119.99, you're paying $79.99. So scatter them through the cottage garden, scatter them through the native garden. Really great value at $79.99. And this is a Westringia ball.
Beautiful.
Topiary
also,
ball.
James, we are located in Campbellfield, Victoria, Australia, but we do offer free delivery on orders over $300 from Ballarat to Tarralgon, obviously the areas in between, or you can just come visit us in store, or I think the normal delivery price is about $35.
Right. Now, what we've got here is a Merrimack pine. Now, this is a dwarf eastern pine, and it's been clipped into a ball. Now, this could be allowed to expand, and it's got beautiful sort of soft needles, lovely blue foliage, and this could be grown into a beautiful big ball. And if you're looking for something a bit, I did a garden design and used 3 of these the other day, and the chap was looking for a garden that had real character and real interest. Something was really happening there, and we used 3 of these amongst some other interesting plants. So your Merrimack Dwarf Eastern Pine, normally $229, normally $299, is now $189. So 16-inch pot, $189. Really good value and a really interesting. Something like this is probably 7 or 8 years old. So and it'll gradually expand into a beautiful big soft blue ball. And a lot of people, because there's so many pine trees in Victoria, a lot of people don't really appreciate pines. But when you start looking at some of the other varieties of pines on the market and the beautiful needles and colours and things like that, I think pine trees are really, really beautiful. And this Merrimack one here is a lovely tree.
Amazing. And there's only 2 available at that price of $189.99. So if you're seeing it and you're loving it, buy it now. How you're going to do this is, well, I first want to say we're at the end of our live. That is all the plants, guys. Wow, what an incredible range of beautiful, high quality plants for so cheap. So if you've been at this live and you're seeing all these beautiful plants and you really want to get them, thank you. If you could scroll back up again, just go back to the top, please. If we could just scroll back up again, Anira, thank you. Yeah, scroll back up. So what you're gonna do, so this is our website here, you can see on the screen, Hello Hello Plants. Then at the top and in the menu bar, you have Chris's blog. So all you do is you press on Chris's blog, and then you're gonna go to the Growers Direct Flash Sale 4.0. And then in that, yeah, Chris, try and do the same like pose, yep. So you see him there. So in this blog article, you have every single plant that is on sale. We've put it into 3 categories for you. So the first category was carpets, lawns, and cascades. So that's like your ground covers, all the flat things. If you want to grow something over an embankment, if you want to grow something in a pot to cascade over, if you have a tiny lawn that you want to make a bit prettier.
That's a fantastic price.
And then the next category is hedges and screens. And the last category is standards and topiary. So I just really want to emphasize the deals that you're getting here are deals that you are never going to get again. So.
Oh, okay, no, it's okay. As soon as I finish, tell them to come and see me.
Sorry,
okay?
we're just showing the Shaina maple again.
Hey, I just want to say something.
Uh-huh.
Now, a lot of people would have seen this incredible range of plants like you've maybe never seen at your local nursery. And if you came out to our nursery, you'd be amazed. There's no retail nursery that I know of in southeastern Australia carries a bigger range of plants than what we do. And the place is stacked up like a giant truck full of plants. There's plants on shelves, there's plants everywhere. You won't believe what's here. And then what happens to people is people come here and there's this unbelievable range of plants. And I think, my God, I can't put the garden together because should I use this maple or that tree, or what'll I do, which ground cover? And what we do, how we've overcome that problem for our customers is we do a free garden design. You pay a small deposit, we do a garden design with you, and then if you buy the plants on the day, we refund the deposit that you paid back into the plant purchase. Now, what's interesting about that is that we do these garden designs, and I think today I'm doing 8 garden designs. I've done 4 this morning, I do 4 this afternoon, 8 garden designs, and that's going to help people to make use of this fabulous range of plants. And I enjoy it. I love plants and I love working with these plants, and I really enjoy helping people make the best use of them, because sometimes, or very often, when you're doing deliveries and you're driving through the suburbs and that, a lot of the gardens you see, even though people have spent quite a lot of money, can be quite disappointing. Plants can be dying because they're the wrong choice or they just don't look good. And what we do with our garden design, we look at the garden design from the point of view, this person has this climate, this shade, this sun. We look at this soil, and we look at the actual situation, and we make a design that not only looks good but actually works in that particular situation. And so if you looked at all these fabulous plants and thought, my God, I don't know how to put a garden together with them, we can help you with our free garden design.
Exactly. So how you book that service is you go to our website, and then on the menu there's a service, like in the menu bar at the top of the website is a services page, and then you hover your mouse over there, and then you see the free garden design service. I'm sure if you also just search up garden design, hello plants, it will also come up. You just fill out your details, and then from there, one of our staff will book you in, and then you'll have that directly with Chris, who has worked in the horticultural industry for decades and decades. He's been doing garden designs for so many years, and he's done everything from tiny little lawns to massive landscape properties. So he can definitely handle any garden that you need done. Now, we did get asked if we could please describe the Shaina and just show that off again. The customer just missed it because it must have just been before they came in. There you have it. Can you tell us just again briefly about the Shaina maple?
Okay, your Shaina maple is the maple that it's grafted up high like a weeping maple, but instead of growing down like a normal weeping maple, it grows out and up. And what happens is when it's young like this one here's been grafted only 2 years ago, and so what happens, it really shoots out like crazy, and it'll fill out, it'll be, in no time at all, it'll be 2 meters tall and 1.5 meters wide, and then it completely transforms and gets beautiful, dense, fine growth. And then what's great about it is that the color, we did the video about the Shaina color.
It looks stunning. Yep, I've seen it myself, and they look really, really good.
Yeah, so what happens is you get this beautiful, dense foliage, and in spring it's an amazing bright pink. Then in summer it kind of goes browny reds, and then we were videoing them the other day, and they were the most amazing sort of pinky, purpley, amazing, just incredible colors. And then finally you get this big blast of scarlet in the autumn, and you get leaf drop. But for a compact maple to go in a pot, or grow as a small compact feature tree, you can't beat them. And they do get much thicker and bushier than this in a couple of years when they slow their growth down. So Shaina maple, beautiful maple, great for colour, and it's kind of got that weeping look without actually weeping. And some people feel that weepers make them sort of feel sad. So these ones don't make people feel sad.
Amazing. All right. Well, I'm just going to end it on the note just reminding everyone how they can get these deals. So either you can come in store. We are based in Campbellfield, Victoria, Australia. If that's too far for you to travel and you are still in Victoria, you can get a hold of our free delivery service. So I'm just showing you guys here on the screen now. So you can do that. You can come in store. If you buy over $300 worth of plants, we will offer you free delivery, which you can just see here. Let me see. I believe if you go to our home page, we normally have a little here you go. This week, free delivery, orders over $300. There you see all of the suburbs that it relates to. There you see it on the map there. So we are quite all over the place in Victoria. Or you can also shop online. You can do a click and collect, or you can do obviously the free delivery. So if you don't want to come in store and you don't want to browse around, maybe you're poor on time, or you just prefer shopping online, which is fair enough, come to so basically what you search up is Hello Plants. You'll come to our website, go to Chris's blog here, which is on the menu page there. Just gotta wait for it to load. It's the most recent article here, Growers Direct Flash Sale 4.0. Just click on that one there, and it's gonna take you to this page. Got a little bit here, just telling you about why we're doing this, how we are able to do these kind of deals. And then you just scroll down, and we have 3 categories for our sale. So we've got screens and hedges. You go and see all those beautiful plants that we talked about today. Then we have standard weepers and topiaries. You can see all of those stunning plants there. And then you got carpets, lawns, and cascades. So you can shop at your own pace here. And that is it. So that's how you get these great deals. And they are only going to last until Friday. Friday, after that, they're gone. And you're never going to get some crazy deals like that weeping cherry or the Japanese maple or those beautiful box bowls again. So definitely get in on that quick. There's also limited stock. So once the stock is gone, that's it. We're not going to order more of it in for the sale. So yeah, important to get in quick. Now, I have noticed that there's been quite a few questions coming up just in our live. And I just want to say that we do a live Q&A every Monday, 12 p.m. for about 45 minutes. And we answer any question that comes through there. So any questions that were asked today, please come to our Monday live instead. And we will answer it there. Or you can, of course, call us up, email us, come in to the nursery. But yeah, any last words before we wrap this up, Chris?
Oh, look, I want to thank people for coming to my Grower Direct live sale, and I want to thank the growers that have been helping us with this. Like, basically, we've had some fabulous support from growers, and without their support, we wouldn't be able to offer such great deals. So this has been a great job. My staff have really worked hard to get this sale out. Every week it's a big job. And we've had fabulous support from quite a number of growers. So I want to thank people for the grower support. I want to thank my staff for working hard and getting it out. And this is our 4th week, and I've been really happy because every week we've done a little bit better. We're learning a little bit, and gradually we'll build this up into a really well-polished, fabulous system that allows people to buy direct from the fields.
Fantastic, exactly. So if you are not following us already, go follow us and you can find all the details. You'll be up to date, and you'll also just get a lot of educational, inspirational content, which is amazing. So we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for coming. We've loved having you guys here, and stay tuned for when we do our next flash sale with different deals, different plants, and all of that. All right, we're out. See you guys.
Bye.